Thank you.
So, Karimat, let's start. So let's have your contact details.
Yes, our locations are plots 192 Agege Motor Road off Ilupeju Bypass beside Crystal Estates, Ilupeju, Lagos. Number 1 Amule Bus Stop opposite Petrocam Gas, Ayobo. Then we have the Inside Corn Oil Filling Station opposite Correctional Center, Kudurat Abiola Way, Ikeja. Our phone numbers to call are 070 60607494, 070 6060 7494. I have the 080 8080 6686, 080 8080 6686. Our social media handles are Facebook and Instagram at AUTOMEDICS Limited. Our website is www.automedicsafrica.com.
Okay. Our own social handle is Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. So if you want to send a message to us, you can send it via that platform. And you can also send it through our WhatsApp page, 0809 9120 009 9120 You can also call us in the studio, 091 538 127, 091 538 127. Okay, now let's begin the show. Let's begin the show, yeah. But then we need to also look at the roads. Let's see what it's looking like. Yes, on our roads this morning. And right about now, okay, I see that most areas, are still looking good. Yes, I'm not citing any impediments now from our live screen in the building. Oshodi, underneath the bridge is looking quite fair. Yeah, it's looking fair. All right, very close to good. It's not as if there's any impediment, but due to maybe some field portions here and there, and so that's what we have. Hello, good morning. We have a call. Let's take this call. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes,
It's AUTOMEDICS.
Yeah, this is from somewhere.
Hello.
Yeah, so this is Tokunbo speaking.
Okay, you have a car question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I use a Corolla 2014.
Okay.
So I spoke with you last week. You guys should do a scan. So I've done it this month. So I want to read it out.
Please, can you speak up? Okay.
Okay, P0441.
We didn't get that. We didn't get the question.
Okay, I said last week I spoke with you and you said I should take a scan.
Please, can you do a recap of the question? Okay.
Toyota Corolla 2014.
Okay. What's wrong with the car?
I said I noticed that anytime that the eco mode disappears, the check light will come up. So anytime that I have a service and the eco mode is the check light is corrected, then the eco mode will display, and maybe after 24 hours, the eco mode will go, then the check light engine will keep on again, and it has been like that for some time. So when I told you now that I should take it, I told you that I took it to a mechanic and that he took it scan, and the person erased the code. So he now said I should go and take a scan again and read out the code. That until I have fixed the problem that the eco mode, the check light will always come on until the problem is actually solved.
Okay.
So I now went to take the scan this morning. So hoping to let you know the code.
Okay, let's have the codes.
Okay, P0441. It has a description of evaporative emission control system incorrect purge load.
Okay.
State pending. It has another one, P2420.
Okay.
P2420. With an description of evaporative emission pressure switching valve stop off.
Okay.
It's pending. These are the two port codes.
Okay, these are the two fault codes you have.
Yes, P0441 and P2420.
Okay. You can listen from the radio.
Okay. Thank you. Please just take a second before you continue because before I will switch to car.
All right. All right. Thank you for calling.
All right. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now, let's continue with our traffic reports. Right. Before that call came in, I was talking about Oshodi underneath the bridge. Yes, it's better. Yes, on that stretch, but you just have to be cautious as you drive because we have some field portions there. So please just ensure you keep it within speed limits. We have, bus activities, around that corridor. All right, away from that, let's see. Those trying to connect Maryland, okay, from Ojota interchange. Yes, okay. We have it good too on that stretch. Yes, connecting Odiala Road, Maryland, and also on the return journey. There's no cost for all worries. Just ensure you obey all traffic laws. That's all. And I can cite our traffic managers to doing their job. Well done, guys. Okay, let's see. We have Mobolaji Johnson Avenue in Worcester Secretariat is also looking quite good. No cause for worries on both axes. All right, no impediment cited also. Okay, let's also see Bagada. Yes, Bagada connecting in Fakwan Shuki. All right, it's looking good, and I can see. All right, from Charlie Boy bus stop. Yes, it was Bagada. There's slight slowness. Okay, it's actually due to bus stop activities. As from what I can see, yes, due to bus stop activities. Aside that, yes, the road is still very much in order. Just ensure you keep it within speed limit. The return journey is also looking quite good. Okay, Alapere, all right, is also quite good. Yes, impediment is 0. Well, that's all for now. Yes, traffic-wise, and I'll also implore our traffic managers, to keep me posted regarding the situation around their areas of coverage, so that we can help our motorists plan their journey appropriately. The show is AUTOMEDICS on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, and we talk about your vehicles, various issues that affect the performance of your car, and we also, help you fix them right from our studio here. So we have experts in the building. Auto Amazons. All right, so let's get back to the question.
So he said is vehicle check engine light comes on after the eco mode comes on, and he scanned the vehicle, got the fault code P0441 and P2420. So for the P's, I'm talking about the P0441. It says evaporative emission control system. So the evaporative emission control system is in relation with the eco mode, which is the full economics. So whenever the light comes on, you have your check engine lights because it has to do with the regulation of fuel and helping to control the emission in the engine. So for the P0441 that says is complaining of incorrect purge flow. So the purge is a purge valve. It's supposed to help take fuel vapor from the charcoal canister into the engine. So it's two things. It's either it's stuck open or it's stuck closed. That's why I say incorrect purge flow. So this could be as a result of the purge valve itself. Could be as a result of maybe the 4-filler cap there's a fault because the 4-filler cap has a valve that helps to hold in both the fuel vapor and the fuel intact. So it could be as a result of the two of them. So or it could be as a result of the charcoal canister itself, maybe not withholding the fuel vapor, so it just takes it out. That means you have the purge valve stuck open, so it just takes it out.
So that means the charcoal canister might be filling too.
The charcoal canister might be filling too.
Okay, let me add to it. I think what I would advise this person to do first, when you want to deal with this P0441 fault code, is to have your technician do an inspection. You can check it himself. You should check the 4-filler cap first. The 4-filler cap may be loose. If it's loose, yes, that may be the reason why this fault code P0441 is on by the computer on its own. And if you have the any fault code relating to vehicle emission, the eco mode would stop working. That's why you have the eco mode light go off whenever the check engine light comes on. So what you can do is have your technician. You can do an inspection on the fuel filler cap yourself. If you feel that the fuel filler cap is loose, have your technician do a replacement on the fuel filler cap, and that will clear the fault code. The light for the P0441. Now for the P2420. This has to do with the evaporative emission system switching valve control circuit I. For some Corollas and RAV4 Toyotas, you'd have what we call a vacuum switching pump. The vacuum switching pump is always mounted around the charcoal canister. Now, if there is a problem with the vacuum switching pump, that's why you have the computer put out this code. I was expecting a list of 4 codes. I was expecting some false codes relating to P2409, P241E, and the likes, because all of them would have to do with the vacuum switching pump control. Okay. So if you have just this fault code relating to the vacuum switching pump, I think what you should do is have your technician check the connection to this pump. Okay. The pump is located around the charcoal canister under the vehicle, close to the fuel tank. So you can check the connection to the pump. Okay. If the connector is loose or the connector is bad, or the wire harness is open, that will cause the fault code to come on. The pump may also be a problem. Okay. But before you go ahead to do a replacement on the pump, resolve the fuel pump, the fuel cap related problem, which is relating to the first code first. Then clear the fault code and see if the fault code returns for the vacuum switching pump. If the fault code returns, then you might want to do a replacement on the vacuum switching pump. But I'm not sure. I don't know how much it will cost. It may not be cheap. And in some cases, you could have the units come with your charcoal canister. That means if you want to resolve the problem with the vacuum switching pump, you might be replacing the vacuum switching pump with the charcoal canister.
All right, thank you very much. 091-538-77127 and 009-9120-777. These are the numbers that connect you to us right in our studio. Okay, so now let's get into our discussion for the day. Yes, usually when we come on air, we don't just want to start taking questions. So we like to also enlighten ourselves. We need to keep ourselves abreast of current trends. We need to understand the way these vehicles perform. So that's why we just give ourselves a bit of, education, courtesy of, our trainers. They are trainers. And we just need to understand our vehicles. We need to know how they work. And, one of the things we're going to discuss today is, those quick fixes that we have. Sometimes, in life, you come across some situations where you just tell yourself, when the desirable is not available, then the available becomes the desirable. And, sometimes we even forget. We want to quickly do that fix so that we get out of that situation. And you can now revert to maybe to the status quo. But eventually, sometimes we forget to, actually the deed is done, and sometimes we even forget, and sometimes we promise ourselves, no, I'll fix it, I'll get it fixed, I'll ensure, I stick to the manufacturer's spec, I'll do it the way the manufacturer has instructed. But then we forget these things. So we're going to look at those little things. Like someone sent a question yesterday. The person was asking about coolant, the use of coolant. What's the importance of using a coolant instead of using water in your radiator? So these are the little things that we underestimate their power. We do not understand that some of these things, they are little foxes. They creep into our barn and they destroy them. We see them as very little. And as little as they are, if you allow them to exacerbate, you'll discover that they cannot destroy quite a number of components in the car, if not quickly fixed. So one of them, the use of coolants, running the fan direct and increasing the cell, increasing from single cell to double cell radiator, the use of available lubricant, sometimes we use available lubricant because you just have to, top it up. The engine oil is dry and you need to just quickly get something to lubricate it. Then not replacing the oil filter anytime you replace. You carry out a lube service. Another one is attributing all AC issues to refrigerants. Just say sure. I just fill it, top the refrigerants. That's all. Another one is changing the brake disc without the brake pad. So I want us to look at this facts, these things one after the other. Karimat is really going to take us through this session. Karimat, I believe Tokunbo is here, so she's our backbone. She's very much here to rescue us. When we fall in the ditch, Tokunbo is there to rescue us. So let's start with the issue of coolant. Some people now, I also want to add, some people also make use of distilled water. I've heard it somewhere that if you don't have, if you can't afford coolant, because now we are trying to cut down price of things, or we're trying to cut down on expenses. So now we can make use of distilled water. That's water from your AC. Exactly. Is this still okay? Can this suffice? Can you compare it to when you use coolant? So these are the things we just wanted to touch on this morning.
Okay, so using coolant water instead of coolant and using distilled water and the normal water is still water. The only difference is distilled water, the impurities are removed because it's AC water. So you have you have no impurities in distilled water, but in the normal water you can have maybe slight impurities. By the time you take it under a microscope, you can see. But for a distilled water, it has no impurities. So so it's still like you're using water. So using coolant, using water instead of coolant is actually very wrong, because water, like we all know, although it's available everywhere. But then water has the effect, because the water causes anti-rust. It causes anti-rust in the cooling system, because you have the channel in which the water flows through, which is the water jacket, is coated with aluminium rods and all, so alloys and so you have water passing through it every now and then. I know. When you put ions or aluminium outside and rain falls every now and then, you don't get the same aluminium when you put it in this. You don't get the same. How do I put it? You don't get the same texture.
Yes, it gets corroded.
It gets corroded. It gets rusted. So that's what happens in our engines. And for coolant is an antifreeze. By antifreeze means it has a lower boiling point and higher freezing, more freezing point and lower boiling point. Okay. So the antifreeze is because some people will say they don't use coolants here, they use it over there.
Where is over there?
Like abroad, in the abroad. That they use it over there. Okay. Meanwhile, we're even supposed to use it because over there, if you use water, by the time it's snowy or it's in the cold season, the water itself will get stuck in the radiator. So how do you want to start your engine? The water, So but if you dare not use so they dare not use water, exactly. So they dare not use water.
And we can dare it.
But what if tomorrow snow begins to fall?
Are you in Nigeria? No, I don't think that can ever happen.
I said, what if?
Okay.
Snow begins to fall, so it's the same thing that would happen. So it is advisable that we use coolant instead of water.
Okay. And in case of leakage too?
And in case of leakage, it's easily detectable for coolant when in case of leakage than water. But water, sometimes you might see a rust, but then there are some engines that already has maybe slight rust.
Okay. So about running the fan directly?
Running the fan directly is also not advisable. Okay. Because at that point, the temperature regulation of the engine is improper. Is not balanced, because at that point the computer does not even know. Because let me put it this way: the fan was put in the engine to regulate the temperature. So when the engine gets to an optimum temperature, the fan comes on. Okay. So if fan comes on, that's when you have your cooling system, like your thermostat working. Then the fan comes on to cool the heat out of the engine. Okay. But now you have your fan running direct. they are causing more harm to your vehicle, because at that point your battery drains. Because even when you put your vehicle on ignition, you have your fan running, so you have your vehicle battery being drained. The temperature regulation of the vehicle is not known by the ECU. It's not known by the ECU because you have the fan running
24
at all
hours.
times. Yes.
Interesting. So when you talk about running the fan directly, it's about, keeping the fan working even when it's not supposed to work, right?
Yes.
So
And
that means it
also affects the fan, because the fan is like overdoing the work. Yes.
So it's laboring.
It's laboring more than it's supposed to.
Okay. Then what about increasing to a double cell radiator? When you have a single cell and want to increase it, someone says quickly increase. You just have to get this fixed, on time. You're experiencing overheating. So let me just do something now. Let's do it and let me get out of this place.
Okay, when we come to changing to a double cell instead of a single cell, all you are just doing is increasing the size of the radiator, the capacity of the radiator. That means if the radiator is supposed to take 10 liters of water or coolant, now you are taking it to take about maybe 15 or 13 liters of coolant. That's just the essence of increasing from single cell to double cell. It's not that it's going to help to reduce overheating on the vehicle. It's just, there is no.
So why do mechanics advise people to increase the cell?
Well, I wouldn't know why they do that. It's just this belief that when you change from single cell to double cell, your engine would not overheat.
Does it really work? Does it really stop the overheating?
It doesn't. Because if you don't address the issue that really caused, or the problem that caused the vehicle to overheat, no matter what you do, no matter modification you do on no matter what the modification is on the engine, you will still have the vehicle overheat if the problem has not been resolved. It's just the case of you have a technician telling you remove the thermostat because she doesn't want your vehicle to overheat. If the thermostat is removed and you have loss of coolant, the vehicle will overheat. If the thermostat is removed and the fan stopped working, the vehicle would overheat. So point removing the thermostat in the first place.
09153877127 and 00991207777. Yes, these numbers get you across to us here. You can speak directly with the experts, and you can also send in your car questions. So we are live on Facebook on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. So I've got Tokunbo Adegoju and Karimat Salako from AUTOMEDICS Africa Limited in the studio. They are mechanics, so they can help you fix your cars. All right, let's see. Okay, yes, from our live screen, we still have it good in most areas within the Lagos metropolis. Yes, no impediments cited. Yes, in all of these areas, just have maybe some areas where there are traffic lights alternating and where you just have to stop and, give a right of way to, other road users. Okay. Underneath Oshodi Bridge, okay, I see is fair, is a good journey, all right. But don't forget to have some field portions in that area, so you just have to keep it slow as you drive, all right. Impediment is still very much negative, and also Obafemi Awolowo is still looking quite good as well. Don't forget to have traffic lights, around that area, so just ensure you obey these lights, obey them. Don't be caught in the wrong side of the law. All right, and ensure you give a right of way to other road users. Please always ensure you do not make use of your phone when driving, and keep your focus on the road. Keep your focus on the road. I think that's very important. Yes, that don't use your phone when driving. Do not text or make calls while you're driving, and ensure your patience and tolerance with other road users. Okay, so the show is still very much on when we talk about your cars, and we help you fix them. All right, Tokunbo is here. So she is, she's educating us this morning on those very little things, those things that we underestimate, those little things, little fixes that we give to our vehicles, and which eventually cause a kind of damage, on this car. So those are things we are looking at this morning. And we talked about, the use of what types of coolants. We talked about running the fan directly. We talked about increasing to a double-star radiator. So now let's talk about the use of available lubricant. Sometimes, we find ourselves in situations where we just have to get out of that scene. I just noticed that my engine oil is running low, and I need to quickly get something to top it up. At the moment, so we want to get out of that emergency situation. So, what's the impact it will have on our vehicles? And we always promise ourselves that I'm going to eventually return to or revert to manufacturer spec, but sometimes we forget, sometimes we get distracted. So that's what we're going to look at again. So Karimat, so what's the implication of doing this, and especially if we do not revert to status quo? What happens?
Okay, the implications of using in a situation, you could just use what you can find at that point, but it's very important for us to revert immediately. But then we find out that most people do not revert, they just continue using it. So the implications is, for example, you are supposed to use a 5W20 and then you got a 20W30 in the market or 40, and that's what you were able to get just to get out of that situation. We talk about the 5W20. What it actually means is that you have the thickness. So for example, your engine is using a lighter or maybe like a 0W20, and then you are using a maybe 20W40. The viscosity is thicker at that point. So you're increasing the wear of the engine.
Wow.
You're increasing the wear because it's more like you are stressing the engine. So that's how it is.
Okay. All right. So you're increasing the wear on the engine. Okay, so now let's talk about not replacing the oil filter when we carry out lube service on our vehicles.
Not replacing oil filter. That one is even something I found very funny, because like the name implies filter, so it helps you to filter the dirt out of the engine.
But then the filter is still there. It hasn't removed the filter. And the filter is still meant to filter.
Because the filter is clogged. I don't know, maybe they didn't.
It's always clogged.
It's clogged.
Every time I replace my engine, must I always replace the filter?
Yes, you need to replace it because it's clogged with dirt and metals that we can't see until we feel. Even there are some that you can't. So I don't know, maybe they're expecting to see.
Yes, because I cannot see anything. I just see that the filter is still there, and it's like it's going to be a waste if I buy another one.
It's not
Well, there is really not much to say when it comes to not replacing oil filter when you change the engine oil. It's not ideal. It's not a good practice. Most people will think that, if I don't change the filter, I'm fine. Yes, you think you're fine. But one thing is, if the filter gets so clogged, the engine oil will flow, because some systems have a filter bypass valve, such that the engine oil will then flow and bypass the filter. Now at this point, the oil is flowing and there is nothing filtering the oil, which is very dangerous.
No, we are not talking about removing the filter.
I'm not saying you're removing the filter.
Yes, it's still there.
Replace the filter.
Yes.
So that means that you're doing lubrication service continuously. You did not replace the filter.
Exactly.
Yes, at the point the filter will get clogged, like every other filter on the vehicle.
Okay.
So the oil will not be able to flow through.
Okay.
So the oil will still, there is no reason the oil shouldn't flow through the engine. So the oil will then bypass the filter.
Oh, because there's no passage.
There's no passage.
Okay. That's
and it will now flow through the engine. Okay. So now, unfiltered oil is flowing through. So I think you don't want that.
Don't worry, you have won. Because we're trying to cut costs, honestly. Okay, now, before we continue, let's take some of these questions we have. This person says, I bought a 5W40 as I'm observing it. Please, I want to service my transmission automatic 2002 seat Alhambra. Please advise.
Seat Ambra, and he wants to change service the
Yes,
transmission.
I think the vehicle
doesn't
actually
know.
uses 5W30.
For the
original.
engine,
Yes.
but he wants to service the transmission, so I think he's trying to get the specification.
Yes, I guess so.
Well, I don't really know the specification for that vehicle. I will have to research, so it will give us some time to get back to you.
All right, please do give us some time. Get back to you. This one here now says, I drive a Pro MDX. How do I test to know if my thermostat is not working or working low? Is it like working low?
I don't know.
Yes, truly, there are some things. There are some things that we use, and you discover that it's not as if that thing is not working, but it's just like maybe when the light is supposed to be very, very bright, and the light is very low, it's dim. So it's working, but it's not working very well. Like he said. So, is there any way you can help him out?
Okay. One thing I would advise is if the vehicle does not have a thermostat, the computer should complain about it. Though some years of vehicle, you might not have the computer complaining about it.
Okay.
And so what you can do is if you don't have any fault code relating to coolant thermostat malfunction, which is P0128, you can have your technician open up where you have the coolant housing to inspect if there is thermostat there. That's the thermostat housing.
Okay.
If there is no thermostat there, then it means the vehicle has no thermostat. If there is one there, it can be removed to test to see if it is opening properly and closing properly.
All right. All right, you can still call us in the studio on 09153877127. You can as well send your question to us on WhatsApp on 00991207777. Let's get back to our conversation. Okay, attributing all easy issues to refrigerants. So what do now I get to my AC technician and this is my car or the AC is not cooling, and now I don't want to hear anything, just top up the refrigerants. Does it resolve all AC issues? And yeah, I just want this AC to cool. Just ensure you just top it. That's all. I want to get out of this place. I want the AC to work. So what's your take on that?
Okay, when it comes to attributing every AC problem to refrigerant, I think you and I know that it's not true.
Some people don't
know.
know.
I give that response.
Yeah. Some people don't know.
We have been in a situation like that before. And so most times there are some other things that could cause the AC not to cool well.
Okay, yeah.
It's not only the refrigerant that will cause the AC not to cool well. I've seen a situation where the person didn't put on the AC switch. And she was saying that AC is not working.
I don't get.
Okay, now that's the issue.
Okay.
You know that for some vehicles there is a particular knob that you would turn to increase the blower speed fan or to turn on the blower.
Okay.
The blower motor when you hear that fan blows. Now at the center of that blower there is a switch, really for the AC. Okay. But most times most persons have it always on.
Okay.
And so all you just need to do is just turn on the blower.
Increase the speed.
Yes. But now the person, I don't know, maybe kids or something, they had fumbled with the switch, so they have turned off the AC power.
Okay.
So she was just turning the blower and expecting the AC to come on, but the AC to come on.
Okay.
So that day we're checking, we were like, what's happening? Why is AC not coming on? AC is not, and she was like, AC is not working. I was like, wait, AC, but this AC was working before. She said, it's not working again. Okay. I started searching, I checked the fuse, I checked the clutch. I was like, this thing seems fine. There is no leak anywhere. Only for us to see the switch. We saw that it was off. We pressed the switch, AC came on. So that now, and she already called the AC technician saying that the AC is not working.
Wow.
So it could be a case like that. Then it could be a case of the air filter being blocked.
Yeah.
Now, if you have the air filter plugged, you can say that it's refrigerant related.
Okay, we have not answered this man's question. We'll get back to his question. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Good morning to you.
Okay, you answered my question. I was
Yes,
the one
Mr.
that
Kim, right? Okay.
Yes,
Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Tope from Songwater. Yeah, what was your question?
To
Yes,
the
I was
question
on
before
I said she didn't get my question very well.
Oh.
So I said whenever my check light engine comes on, my echo mode does not come on. That they are just alternating. If echo mode is on, check light will not be on display. If check light is you understand.
Oh.
So my MPG is going up and down. At times it goes as high as 17, and within a tinkle of an hour it will come down to like 9. Then I now said I did a scan this morning, and I got a fault code of P0441 and P24. I think
P2420. Yes, we have the code.
So if
we didn't get the question. Yes, she answered, but I think there was a mix-up. She didn't quite understand.
And my car stopped, and my car got off. Immediately you wanted to talk about it, so I didn't even know either you answered it or you did not answer it. So that's why I had to call back again. So can I listen via the radio now?
Yes, you can listen via the radio.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Go over that again.
Yes, I will have to go over it, but I responded to the question and I understand his complaint. What is most times when you don't have the echo mode come on, it's because the check engine light is on. Now, the reason why the economy is there is that to help vehicle manage fuel. That's why it says that the MPG will go very low when the echo mode is on. The computer would regulate the functions of the engine and some other components in the vehicle such that it would not consume fuel.
Okay.
If the check engine light comes on, the echo mode will go off because the computer cannot regulate for that any longer until you resolve the check engine related problem. And the fault code he has with the check engine is the P0441 and the P2420. And I mentioned that the P0441, which is talking about the incorrect port flow, it could be as a result of the fuel filler cap thing. And I said he should check the fuel filler caps himself. It's something he can check without using a technician.
Okay.
So it's just for him to try to close he should open up the cap, then close it again and see if it locks properly. The way the fuel filler cap will lock, it would there is a click it gets after the filler cap is turned locked. But after that click, it feels that fuel filler cap is opening again. Then there is the filler cap is loose, so it will cause a leak. So, and I said he should have his technician do a replacement on the fuel filler cap. Then for the P2420, which is talking about the vacuum switching pump.
Okay.
I said the vacuum switching pump is located around the charcoal canister. The charcoal canister is located around the fuel tank under the vehicle. Now, if this pump is disconnected, maybe for one reason or the other, maybe you have the wire harness is open, that means it's cut open, maybe due to something under the vehicle, maybe a bump or something. That could cause the switching valve to be disconnected and the computer will not get a feed from it. It could also be that there is maybe rust around the connectors of the switching valve. So I said you should have his technician do an inspection on the switching valve and see what the problem is, the vacuum switching valve, and see what the problem is around it. Now, if the switching valve looks okay, there is no disconnection anywhere. If he wants to do a replacement on that switching valve, he might need to do a replacement with his charcoal canister, which will resolve the problem. But he should focus first on the fuel filler cap problem. If he replaces the fuel filler cap, he can rerun a scan and see if this fault code to return. But as long as these fault codes come on, the echo light will go off because the vehicle is no longer managing fuel.
Okay. All right, so that's Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The show is still AUTOMEDICS, and we are taking your car questions. Okay, so now let's respond to this man's question. He wants to know if a thermostat is not working or it's working low.
I responded as
one we haven't is,
I said, how should he test it? How
should he test the thermostat?
Yes.
If they check. So if his technician checks to see if there is a thermostat in the vehicle, he would have to boil water. He would have to boil water and keep the water boiling.
Yeah.
So then I would advise he ties something like maybe a thread on the thermostat, then put the thermostat inside that boiling water. The water has to be boiling because you need the water to be at 100 degrees Celsius. So once the water is boiling, it should observe the thermostat and see if the thermostat starts to open up.
Okay.
Now, once the thermostat opens up fully, that means it is opening. So if he removes it from the water and observes when the thermostat starts to cool off, the thermostat should start to close when the thermostat is cooling off. That tells you that the thermostat is opening and closing, and so it's doing its job. It can reinstall it on the vehicle.
The thermostat will start closing up.
Yes, when it's removed
all by
from the
itself.
water. Yes.
When it's getting cool.
Yes.
Okay, but when it's in the water, when it's still hot,
It will open up.
it will open up.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I think I need to do an experiment on that.
It's like a regular boiling ring that we use then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how we work.
I really want to know because, I'm trying to imagine it. They're like, okay, thermostats. How does it look and how do you see it open and close? Like, come on. Okay. All right, let's move on. We have other questions to respond to now. This one says, does the AC blower speed affect fuel consumption? This is Emmanuel from Ikoton. AC blower speed. Does it affect fuel consumption?
This is a very tricky question.
Tricky, right? Okay, AC blower speed.
I guess what he's trying to say. Now, what he's saying is, if you increase the speed of the AC blower, that's the blower fan, when you turn on the AC, you leave it in 1, 2, then you take it to 3 or 4, if it has up to 4 speed. Now, does it consume 4 compared to when you have it in 1? That's what he's asking.
Oh, okay, now the AC blower, or is it the AC?
Yes, it's still the blower, because the blower fan is what that fan you hear that the sound is loud.
Yes.
When the fan is loudest is when you have it on maximum.
Yes.
So when the fan is a bit low, you have it maybe 1 or 2. Now he's asking that if you have the fan loudest, does it increase fuel? Does it consume fuel more?
Exactly. He wants to know so that he will know if he should reduce it or not. Come on. This is I like that.
It's a tricky question because ideally it's just like the AC. I used to say that the AC does not consume for when you are on high speed, but it doesn't mean that the vehicle would not that load of the AC is not going to have effect on the engine. But so the blower fan speed would not have much effect on the fuel economy of the vehicle, because the blower fan is just increasing the flow of air into the cabin. The AC is working, the compressor is already on, it's turning.
Yeah.
So it's already pumping and compressing the refrigerant flowing through the system. All the blower fan is doing is increasing the flow of air. So it doesn't have much effect on the fuel consumption of the vehicle.
It doesn't have much
So even if it's in 1 or is in 3, it does not affect your fuel consumption because it's more controlled electrically. So it's just like the load of the blower fan is on the alternator and the battery, not on your compressor.
Not on the compressor. Okay. So if I have one of my vents blowing just air, and I have another one cooling.
Okay.
Cooling. It's cooling.
The
one is not cooling. It's blowing
hot air.
hot. So that, and I have both on.
Yes.
So would it consume more fuel or?
It won't consume more fuel. It's just that at that time now, the compressor is working heavily because there is little or almost the refrigerant in the system is low. That's why you're having one side cooling and the other side not cooling. There is a leak somewhere.
Okay.
So it's just like you having your compressor working, but there is no much refrigerant to compress and to pump around the system.
Wow.
So having it cool on one side and not cooling on the other side is just an indication of low refrigerant. But it's just that the leak is not yet a large leak.
Okay.
Until when it becomes a large leak, you won't
Both will not cool
in any of the vents any longer.
Interesting. All right, we still have a few minutes before we pack our bags and our baggages. Okay, but let's take some more questions. Can the power steering make my transmission oil to short? I asked the question, and my mechanic said I will change the whole power steering rack. It says the power steering rack makes the transmission oil to short. So now, this mechanic has preferred a solution. He said you should change the entire power steering rack. Would that suffice? Or will it resolve a problem?
I'm trying to relate the connection
Pressure.
with the transmission
And
and
power
the
steering.
power steering.
There is no connection.
The last time I checked,
The last time you checked,
there is no connection.
maybe there's. What about if it has to do with the brand or the type of?
You know one thing. I think the confusion here is because the transmission fluid and the power steering fluid are the same. That's the confusion.
Oh.
Yes, your power steering fluid uses
The
ATF,
same. Okay, fluid as the transmission fluid.
but there is no connection between the two. So it's not. It has nothing to do with your transmission fluid. If there is a leak in the transmission, it's best for you to have an inspection done to see where the leak is. Now, your drive shaft could cause your transmission fluid to leak because there is a connection between the drive shaft and the transmission. There is a connection between the transmission and the engine. So you have to check those joints and see if you don't have a bad seal that's causing the transmission to leak. And the transmission case could also crack and cause a leak. So it is best to do an inspection around the transmission and see its connecting components to see why the leak is. But your power steering system has nothing to do with the transmission.
Wow.
So if you're having a problem with the power steering system, let your technician do an inspection separately on the power steering system and see. But it's best for you to get a second opinion from another technician, because for your technician to tell you that there is a relationship between your transmission and your power steering, then I think you need to have another technician do an inspection on the system so you don't spend heavily on things that are not worth it.
Wow. Well, that's interesting to know. I guess this is where we're going to park our ride for today. Yeah. So this is the size of our package on AUTOMEDICS today. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming and, for putting some smiles on our faces and ensuring that our vehicles, are getting better. Our vehicles getting better, and we are getting solutions to all of these issues. Thank you very much, Tokunbo, Adegoju, auto expert from AUTOMEDICS, and Karimat Salako. Thank you for coming. We also have our interns here in the building. Okay. Yes, we want to say a very big thank you to our social medias, and thank you very much. Okwemi Shodunke, thank you. Remi Aluku, okay, and thank you, Afejon, thank you, Deborah Abolodioku, and big ups to all of our social media team. Thank you, traffic managers, well positioned during the need for and supplying those traffic reports. All right, big shout out to Terry Victor and our executive producer, Istayo Akunle. My name is Aderonke Irewole. AUTOMEDICS will return tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock. Yes, please ensure you come on time. We'll help you fix your cars here. Until then, do have a blessed Tuesday. Bye.